Hello, everybody. Joe Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It's Tuesday, and it looks like the Dow's pulled back a little bit, but we have some renewed strength in we have some renewed strength in the Nasdaq, which is good. I entered a interesting trade today on Apple as it finally made a movement upward. I did a bull call spread on it. I have some slides I think I can show you on this a little bit later into the show. But basically just wanted to kind of go through some of the indexes right now and take a look at that just to see how everything is doing there. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq first, and this is the Nasdaq Composite. And basically, what's happening here with the Nasdaq Composite is, we've pulled down, and then now we seem to be making a very nice movement above the 50-day moving average. And this is key because this looks like we may be hopefully back to an uptrend on Apple. What's kind of happening here is a little bit of a fall off here, but in terms of the volume here, but it does look like finally we may have turned the corner on Apple. And again, I put together something that you might be interested in, and that is a bull call spread on Apple. And I'm going to show that to you, kind of give you an idea of sort of what I did today. And of course, later on we'll put it out for everybody on the action trade alerts. But let's see. I'm going to show you this here. Hopefully we'll get this. Yeah, there we go. So let's take a quick look at it here. Again, this is a bull call spread that I just did very recently. I mean, within about the last hour or so on Apple. So here it is. Basically, let me kind of see if I can sort of give you a little bit better size on that. There we go. So basically what's happening here on Apple, as you can see, is that we have moved above sort of this. We've sort of started to turn the corner on Apple here a little bit. So if you can see on these marks here, this is a key thing. I do believe it has changed course, and it's going to move higher, hopefully above the 50-day moving average. And here's how I did this trade. And by the way, if you're interested, I'm just gonna yeah, there we go. So we're just gonna ignore that, because that's what this is. If you're interested in seeing the basically seeing the trade, this is the address here, opcalc.com/r capital K capital X, and that'll give you the details on here. But I'm just going to kind of show you what I did about an hour ago. Is I bought 4 contracts of the 125 call. This is for the May 21st expiration, and they were each $7.58. Of course, that's per each, and then you multiply that times 100. And then I simultaneously sold the May 21st, same expiration date, 130 call, generating $21.80 in premiums, for a total outlay of $852. Now, if the stock moves above 127.50, which it probably is likely to do, then as you can see, I'm in the green zone, and then eventually I have a potential of making about $100,048 on this trade. So the amount out of pocket, $852, and then it has a potential of $1148, and the break even on this is $127.12. So what I'll do is I will put that out for everyone on the action trade alerts. And if you're not on the action trade alerts yet, super easy to do. You just subscribe by going for the free trade for the trade alerts to www Dallas Trading Floor. So without further ado, let's get into some of the the questions here, and thank you very much for that. Let's see. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. So, let's see. First question is coming. There we go. Hi, Jim. Apple is changing the pattern and moving higher. Any thoughts? Absolutely. And basically, that's why I kind of kind of went over the initially went over the the Apple chart with you with my bull call spread, but I do believe it is changing direction here, and that's why I did put on the bull call spread here. This is the chart currently of Apple, and as you can see, we've moved above, and this is a very key level here. We've moved above the 21-day exponential. That's this green line here, and basically, what that shows is this is the trend line here, and we have what I think is the beginning of a reversal. And whenever that happens, then it's possibly likely to move up in sort of a pattern. Now, it came way down here. In the past, it's tested the 50-day moving average several times, as you can see back in September of 2020, and then also in in the end of October timeframe. Then it tested again, and then it went up. But it tested this one very severely. It came almost down to the 200-day moving average. So this is really one of the best places to buy something as they're moving as they're moving off of this 200-day line, because now it didn't quite come down and touch it, but I do think that we're in a good situation right now for Apple. So hopefully this rally attempt will be successful. The last buy point on a cup without handle pattern, actually, it really is a cup with handle, but the way the pattern recognition worked, it wasn't, is 137.98. Now, of course, in my example for my bull call spread, I only needed to go to 127 to make the money on it. So but definitely this would be considered a breakout. I didn't buy the physical shares. If it moves above if it moves above the 50-day moving average, I will buy the physical shares. I currently have 4 contracts for Apple right now. So yeah, I definitely think that your timing is probably very good on Apple right now, because I do believe it is breaking out, at least as of today. So very, very interesting. Any thoughts on SWBI and RBLX? Let's take a look at SWBI first to see. SWBI. I do want to show you one that is breaking out that I think you might be interested in. It's MKS Instruments, but this is Smith & Wesson. It's traded, interestingly enough, it's traded above the it's trading above the 50-day line here on the daily chart. Let's go to the weekly. Just kind of want to look to see sort of how we're trading. Yeah, we're above the we're above the 40, we're above the 40 there. I mean, above the 40 there, which is good. So, here's the thing. I don't know. I would probably wait on this one a little bit, just because I do think that it needs to show some strength. But let's take a look. It's the 71 relative strength. So it does have a good checklist. The ownership is getting better. The industry is okay. Very good, actually. Here's my thought on Smith & Wesson. I would be hesitating on this one. I probably would not buy it until it moved above about 20. But let's go back to the daily chart. I just kind of want to see how this thing is trading on that line. Yeah, there is a short-term trend here, and it looks like it may have broken that trend, but I just want some more confirmation. I'm just not totally sure that it has broken trend yet. It did bounce off the 200-day line, so that's actually very, very good. Here's the thing. I just think that you need to wait on this one. So here's my here's my you know my my viewpoint on this one. I think I think you got to watch this uh, possible reversal. That's kind of the way that's sort of the way I'm looking at it. I can't get this right. There we go. There we go. Got these fat fingers that just don't want to type as well as they used to. So here's the thing I think about Smith and Wesson. I think it has gone through a possible reversal. I'm not as positive about this one as I am Apple, but I really want to see it. I actually really want to see it move above about 1933. That's kind of where I want to see it move because I want to see it make a new high, and it's almost there. So I think it's watch listable. But here's what I would recommend: watch list this for now, and maybe um, you know I think it's viable above above about 1950. So that's kind of where I would be looking possibly to buy it, would be above about 1950. I still think though this is still a weak reversal, so I'm really a little bit leery on this. I would be a little bit cautious on Smith and Wesson. I want to see it move a little bit higher, become a little bit more strengthen a little bit more, and then I think that we might have something there. Let's take it RBLX. Excuse me, RBLX. Yeah. Oh, this is a fascinating one. Oh my goodness. Yes, I was looking at this morning. This is a really tough one. Where to buy this thing? This is definitely a hot one. This is an absolutely hot one. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate that. This is a real interesting play. Um, God, how would I buy this? This doesn't really have an IPO base yet, and that's the problem with it. I mean, this is definitely a watch list. Huge interest in this. It's got tremendous tremendous revenue. So what do you do when you have this tremendous revenue? I think I might take a flyer on this one. Absolutely. I think I might take a flyer on this one. I'm not in this one currently. Um, I'm not in this one currently. I think you got to be careful though on this one. Because it's just come out. I was looking at this morning and let's see if there's any funds are in it. No funds are in it, but this one has just been totally hot in terms of people wanting to be in this. Yeah, I mean it does have excellent sales. It just came through. The IPO'd at 45. Where could you buy this thing? Well, wow. I think you just got to watch this one. There's really not a place to buy this. I mean, I'm not against it, Alex, but I just think I want to see this one pull back and form some kind of base because right now it doesn't have a base. Right now it's just been right out of the gates. So I just think you have to watch this one, and I think you just have to wait on this. I think you just have to wait for it to form a base, and this sucks because it's always so tough. But here, what I do: wait, uh, let it form a base. So I don't think you can buy it right at this moment. But that's not to say it's not buyable. I just let this thing form a base. Let it form a base. It doesn't have a base yet. Let's see if this thing pulls down a little bit. Let's see how this closes this week, and then I definitely like it right at about this level here, right below about 75. So about 70, I like it, but it's above that right now. I just think it's going to pull back. So let me just see what see kind of where I would do. Yeah, right about here. Yeah, as you can see, there's some traction right in here, right at about 70. Okay, right at about 70. So the question is, will it pull back to 70? If it pulls back to 70 and stabilizes, then I think you could possibly enter this. But right now, I don't think you can. I just don't think you can. Wait for this to form a base. That's basically the only way you can go. All right, we got our cursor back there. Great. You seem to have, it's funny. We have these glitches in terms of that, in terms of the bandwidth. Okay, we did Apple, so that was great. Thoughts on Marvell, MRVL. Let's look at MRVL real quick here. MRVL. And, okay, we do have a beginning of a cup, but the buy point is is way up there. Is at 55.70. So here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing on that one. I think you just have to I think you just have to say wait for buy point of 55.70. I think that's kind of really where you've got to you've got to go in on that. Is it about that level? So I think you really have to wait for the buy point on this one. I don't want to buy it down here. We still have sort of a downward trend on this one. We have this downward. If I can get it to work. Hold on. Okay. There we are. So we still have a downward trend going on like this, and we still really haven't broken. Really haven't broken through this downward trend, so we're still below this. So basically, what I want to see is this thing move up basically right about here, 55.70 is where I want to see it move to. So wait for this buy point at about 55.70, and this is Marvell Technology Group, MRVL. So that's kind of where I see this one. That's where I see this one going. You really have to wait for that. Really have to wait on that one a little bit. Okay, let's RLBX. Let's see, BLDP. Let's look at BLDP. Thanks. BLDP. BLDP. That Ballard. Still has not reversed yet. So we got to wait for the reversal on that one. So basically, what we have to do, I've drawn a trend line here. We're still below the trend line. I don't think this thing is reversed yet. I don't see it reversing yet until it moves above that 21-day line. So I think basically with Ballard, what we're going to have to do is basically wait for reversal above 21-day line at and that 21-day line is 27.30. So So that's kind of where I think that, that's I kind of think where you have to be. It really has to be above this green line here, and that, but really for the reversal to be considered, considered working. So that's what I would do. I would set, and I'm gonna set a, I've set an alert at the 40-day line, but I'm gonna set another alert at the 21-day line, which is at 27 30. So that's where I'm going to set. We're still at 25.79. So we're not really ready to. We're really not ready to buy this one. If we were to buy this one, I do like the relative strength line moving up like this, but the volume has been fairly weak. So I wouldn't buy this one until we see some more strength, until it moves up a little bit between here and here. And again, probably the best way to buy this is going to be with a buy stop limit order. And if you're unsure what a buy stop limit order, you can go to my YouTube page, www.DallasTradingFloor, and I have some stuff on that for that. Thoughts on Ford and GM? Now, Tesla has been pulling back, but I'm in Ford myself, so I'm fairly familiar with this. It's pulled below. Today we're still above the 21-day line, but we've pulled back below the 10-day. This is the 10-day here. It's at 1241. Now the correct entry point on this actually was on the weekly chart. The correct entry point for this was at about 12. Actually, let's move it back here. It's about 1214. That was where I entered it. Yeah, there we go. This was the correct entry point here. So it's just above that. There we go. That's the correct entry point at about 1214, right before it hit that high. So it's pulled back to the 10-day line. Let's see if it can hold on the 10-day line. I have a stop basically at, just a little bit below this, because I don't want to let it move down to the, I do think that you need to put a stop in here at the 21-day line. See if we get a positive bounce, and that's at 1222. So my stop is probably going to be in right here at about 1215. So we should see it hold at that line. But today has been a little bit of sell-off in some of these stocks like GM and Ford. So let's take a look at GM here and see. Again, same thing. It's pulling back a little bit. It's still above, it's still above 56.97, which is the, basically where I would be considering, it's still in a buy area. But the last buy point on this was a cup. It was at a 46.71. It is sort of forming a base. Let's see if we can pull over the weekly chart to see if we have a base there on this one. I still think out of these two, the price action on General Motors is better than the price action on Ford right now. So, and I wish I owned it. I own Ford and not GM. I probably should have switched to GM because the price action looks better on GM. But I still think it's holding up fairly well. Not a really great place to buy this right now. I want to see more of a base. The last base basically was back. Was back basically in January, February. There was a cup at about 46. It's now 57. So I think that at this point, you just got to wait, and that's always hard to do. It's always hard to wait. But they're acting fairly well. But we'll see what happens. Stellantis is the new one that's coming in. So. Okay, here we go. A question from your Disney debit spread. Has low volume, which is like, well, it's got a long time to work out. So I'm pretty confident on it. We'll see. I mean, I may close it early. Here's the thing about it. It's called a diagonal on. Yeah, it does have a little bit of low volume. Again, I trade the spreads, and the low volume doesn't really bother me that much. We'll see what happens. It's kind of got some unusual. It's got some unusual strikes. We'll see what happens. But thanks for that question. I appreciate it. Do you suggest Bitcoin mining? No, not really. I don't know about Bitcoin mining. I think you could mine some profits in GBDC. I don't know about Bitcoin mining. I mean, I think if you started like 10 years ago, that would have been a good idea. But I do think, though, that the GBTC might be getting to a point where it's potentially buyable once again. Let's look at the daily chart on the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. These guys have about 4% of the world's supply of Bitcoin. So it's interesting. It is definitely kind of in a range that I'm interested in. It's above 48.65, currently at 49.74. It's off today. You obviously don't want to buy it today because you don't want to buy it on a downtrend, but I do think that it is starting to show some support of it about this level. And I think that possibly you could go back into it again. It just, Bitcoin, of course, is very volatile. And, it was up to $60,000 for each Bitcoin, but it's come back since. So I don't know what to say on that. I don't typically buy Bitcoin directly. I usually just do the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Let's look at BABA. BABA. This is a question coming from TikTok. And, unfortunately, BABA just continues to move lower. Right now, I think Alibaba Group, I think it's a little bit dangerous to be in it. It's not looking, it's not looking that good right now. So I think you have to be a little bit somewhat careful. It's in a downward trend. And that seems to be let's look at the weekly chart to see if that's indeed the case. Yeah, it is. So right now you just don't want to be in Alibaba. It's below the 200-day average, and now that the 40-week has fallen below the 200-day, I think that's not a good sign. Relative strength of 12. I just think you want to avoid it for right now. So I would not recommend buying Alibaba unless there was a reversal. It's got to reverse above about 260 before I'd be interested in Alibaba. So that's kind of my take on it. That's kind of my take, that it needs to be above about 260. So Alibaba, probably not one that you want to be on. Let's look at ALK. ALK. Alaska Air. You know what? This one it's up $2. Look at that, $2.70. Wow, this is actually looking very, very good. I'm in Delta. This is actually a very, very, very good one here. It's got a very strong relative strength, 81. This is a reopening trade stock. Not a really great place to buy it, unfortunately. The last real opportunity was back in end of February, when it had this cut base at about 80. I mean, about 50. It has gone up tremendously since then, about $20 a share. So I don't really see any place to buy this one. I don't see a base pattern. If you did buy it at this level, it's fairly far extended. Let's see how far it's extended off the 10-day line. Yeah, it's pulling back to the 10-day line. I think you've got to wait on this one until it bounces off the 10-day line. It looks as if it's trading above that now, so that's good. What happened is that it did come down. It tested, basically last week it tested the 21-day line. It bounced off of that, which is good. So it's 1, 2, 3. So it's bounced 3 times. So it's tested the 21-day. I'm pretty comfortable with that. I just think it's too far extended right now. So here's the thing. Right now, I just think it's just not a I think the stock is just too extended. ALK is extended. So really the problem with it being so extended. Oh, okay, come on. No, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. ALK is extended. So that's really, that's really the thing you've got to look for. It's extended, and so I just think you've got to be very careful. And it's not only is it extended, but it's extended above the 10-day line. So that means that it's really the 21-day line that I look at for extension. It's definitely extended. It's just a little bit too high. Let's see if this thing pulls back a little bit and forms a base. I wouldn't recommend buying it. Let me just take at this level. I think that you have to be super careful. These are tough. Entry points are very difficult when there's a change in the market. And there's definitely been a change in the market to the reopening trade. So let's look at Delta DAL. I'm in this one, obviously, so that's probably the way I'm interested. It's pulled back. You can see this is typically what happens. And we're after hours now, so we've just just the final bell. But when it gets too far away from that 10-day line, then it tends to pull back just like a magnet, and that's indeed what happened here. That's what I think is going to happen with Alaska ALK. So if you're to buy it at this moment, I think that you have to be a little bit careful. Wait for it to pull back to possibly. I'm going to set an alert basically right about there. So we're going to set an alert. And we're going to set the alert at, well, maybe not. I'm trying to set the alert. Okay, so the alert should be set at about 64.51. That's where I'm going to try to, once I get enough bandwidth here, there we go. 64.51. That's kind of where I think that it could be set. That's really where I think you got to see it pull back to the 21-day line. I don't know if it'll pull all the way down to there, but it's far extended right now. So Alaska Airlines, I think you have to be a little bit careful with buying Alaska Airlines stock right now, because I do think it is extended. All right, so let's take a look at let's take another question here. Would love your insight on Intuit, INTU. And Intuit is, especially because we're getting into tax season, they are, not only are they biggest, one of the biggest tax people, but they're also huge in payroll. This has really been a long-term leader. It's a very good stock. The its relative strength is 52, so it's a little bit low on that. I'd like to see it better, but it, the last real buy point was back here, and that was basically back in November at 353.98. It's 395, so it's definitely made some progress since then. And it's not too far extended, which is good. It's trading just slightly above the 10-day line, which is good. The last 2 days it has been pulling back. Let's see if we have on the weekly chart, if I can give you a good view on that. You know what? I think that what's going to happen is there's going to be a bounce. It looks like it may be buyable above. Yeah, it may be buyable above about 398. I'm just looking. It does look like we have a reversal. It at least in the short term. This is the reversal line. And we do seem to be trading above that, so that's good. That's really on the daily chart. Let's look at the weekly chart, see if it's any more pronounced. It really is. It's still really early. Yeah, it's still really early. I couldn't say this is yeah. I have to say this does look like it's pulled back to that 21-day line, so that's not a bad place to buy it. Yeah, I think you could buy it off the 21-day line. So I think you probably could buy this one right now. If I were in this one, I wouldn't sell, but I don't know if I would add a position here. It does. During in this current downturn, it really didn't. It didn't even test the 200-day. That's very good. It just tested the 40-day. So that's excellent. I do think it's buyable. I do think this one is buyable. That's my opinion on it. I do think it's buyable. So Intuit I like. I have to say I do like the chart on Intuit. Oh, I'm gonna RBLX. I'm gonna cover that a little bit later. That's really a IPO. I think we need to wait for a base on there. What do you think of Neo? All right. Well, Neo, it was a leader, and then it didn't, and then it wasn't. That's how a lot of times it is. You'll have a leader, and then it's not so much. This tends to be very, very closely related, of course, to Tesla, and Tesla has been pulling back as of late. It's still really, it can't seem to break the 21-day line. So here's the thing. I think it's still in the decline. I mean, it did look like it did look it had a reversal, but it didn't pull above the 21-day line. It's really only going to be a buy if it moves above about 46. Right now it's 43.68, so it's a little bit below that. Here's the thing about Neo. I think you just have to wait on this one. I know this was so hot during the summer, but I don't know. The automotive has been moving a little bit out of favor. Let's take a look quickly at the. I kind of want to see some stocks that might be looking better. Let's see if I'm going to look at some. I'm going to look at some RS blue line. I'm going to look at some breakouts here. So let's see if we can take a look at the first one. Oops. Okay. Here's one that is, let's see if that's breaking out. Yeah, this one is breaking out right now. Yeah, Williams-Sonoma. I think this is one you want to put on your list. This one is possibly one. Now it's got earnings in one day, so I wouldn't buy it into earnings, but this is one that I think you want to put on your watch list. It's Williams-Sonoma, and it does look like it is breaking out. So, and it's looking very strong in this pattern. So this is one of the ones I would recommend. Possibly not buy it today, but Williams-Sonoma, because this one is breaking out, and it has formed this cup. 151 is the buy point, but really the real buy point is about 138.50. So we're right at the buy point on this one, and I do think so. But don't buy this today. This is basically a Thursday buy on this one. But this is the one I think you want to look at right now. Okay, so we have a question on GE. For full disclosure, actually, Larry Culp, who is the CEO of GE, I actually went to college with him, if you can believe that. I went to Washington College in Chestertown, Maryland, a very small school, but he was behind me. He did much better than I did, of course. But Larry Culp, there's going to be an 8-for-1 reverse split on GE. I don't know if that's a good idea. I'd kind of take a wait-see attitude on it because they're still making losses. I'm not in, even though I do know Larry. I'm not well. We are basically, the sales are down, and so there's a massive sell signal here, and they're going to do this reversal. So I just think you got to be careful and stay away right now from GE. I mean, I hate to say that because I think Larry is an awesome manager, and I think he's one of the best in the business. And but he's definitely got his work cut out for him because there was a lot of damage done by Jeff Immelt, so a lot of damage. All right, thoughts on NFE? Let's look at NFE. NFE is New Fortress Energy. Wow, look at this! Look at this! Oh yeah, this is and this one's been out there for a while. This is good. It's up $10.91. That is incredible. It's right up to the buy point, 54.92. So it's 54.11 right now. Boy, I think you could buy this one if it moves just Here's what I would do in this one. I would put this one on a buy stop order. See, 54.92. Let me look at this one. 54.92 plus 10 cents. 55.02. So here's what I would do with New Fortress Energy. This is an interesting one. Here's what I would do with with New Fortress is that I would set a buy stop limit order at at 54.92 plus about 10 cents or 55.02. That's a mark. So here's what I would do with New Fortress Energy. I do think that this one is is right there right now. So here's how I would play this one. This is viable. This is absolutely viable, and it's got everything going for it. This is a good one. It's got a checklist that's good. It's got a ownership which is good. It's got an industry. Its industry is low, but it's oil and gas. I do think that this one is potentially a buy, but here's how I would buy this one. Set a buy stop limit order for 54.92 plus 10 cents or 55.20. So here's what I would do is if it moves above 55.20, I think you possibly could buy this one because it's shown a lot of strength. Now currently it closed at 54.11. So it's right below this buy point, and it was up $10.91. So my guess is it probably will pull back a little bit, but then it may pull up once again. So I definitely think you can definitely do this. It had excellent earnings per share, and this is probably what you want to do for tomorrow, by the way, because it had excellent earnings, was up 103%. So this probably here's how it's probably going to trade. It's probably going to pull back a little bit in the morning, and then but if it moves above this pivot point at 55.92, you want to buy it at 55.92 plus 10 cents or about 55.20. So this one is definitely a good NFE. So thank you for that. So this one could be bought definitely at that price, and I'd be looking to possibly do that tomorrow. So I may put that on my list as well of things that I may buy for the small portfolio. And by the way, if you want to take a look at our small portfolio, it's super easy to do. You need to sign up for the action trade alerts, but they're easy to get. And basically, this is the address that you need to sign up for the action trade alerts. And I'm probably going to be doing something on the NFE. It looks really good. I have also today I did this bull call spread on I did a bull call spread on Apple as well, and that's going to come out later tonight. I'm going to have that out for you. But this is how to sign up for the action trade alerts. You just go to https://sendfox.com, all one, sendfox.com/Dallas Trading Floor, and that will bring up a where you can sign up for the action trade alert. So that is a good thing to get on those. Let's see. The next question is, what do you think about DocuSign? DOCU. DocuSign. I think I was looking to do another option play on DocuSign, DOCU, but I didn't put it together. I think long term it's looking fairly good, but here's the problem with DocuSign right now. It has fallen below the 200-day line here, but it seems to be strengthening. it wouldn't be a bad thing if we saw it pull above the 200-day line. Right now, it's not buyable. I have to see it move basically above the 50-day line before I really want to talk about it. So right now, I think we've got to wait and watch this one at about 238. So here's what I would do on Docu. I basically want to see it. It's a watch list. DOCU possible buy above 236. I believe that's 230. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's really where you want to buy it. 237. I'm sorry, 237. So that's kind of where it would probably be the best. So basically what you want to do with DocuSign, I think this is a watch list. It's still too weak. It's still pulled back too far. And I really want to see it trade above the 40-day line, because if it doesn't, then I think it possibly could it could show some weakness. Basically, we're in the beginnings of a reversal on this, but we're not there yet. So it's sort of not reversed yet. So it's still in a downward trend, and it might improve, it might not improve, but right now we want to see it move above about that 237 in order for it to be, in order to be more viable, in order to be viable. Okay, so here we go. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate that comment very, very much. Okay. Why not buy a call option instead of spread? That's a very good question. Here's why. Why not be why if you're doing a spread, by selling the upper call, it allows you to buy more contracts. So instead of just buying one contract, I'm buying 4 contracts essentially for the price of one contract by doing a spread. So that's the part of the reason that I do that, is because I want to limit my exposure. I want to limit. I want to, we could just buy a call. Absolutely, you can just buy a call. But the problem with just buying a call is that you have to pay for 100% of it. If I sell a call, an upper call, and I do a bull call spread, that gives me I'm buying 4 of the 125 contracts, and I'm selling 4 of the 130 contracts. So I actually get money for the 130 contracts, and by doing that, I'm actually paying. I'm able to get it for less. So that's the reason I like to do spreads, is because I am reducing my risk by selling those upper calls. And it's true. I mean, if it goes above 130, then I won't participate in that, anything above about 130. But if I stay below that, and I'm anticipating that, then I will do well. I'll max out on my profit, but I would rather be able to buy more calls rather than fewer calls. And so that's why I do the spread. So that's a very good question. That is a very good question. And I will be sending it out. By the way, again, just put it up there again. If you want to get on the list for the action trailer, it's very, very easy to do. Just go to sendfox.com/Dallas Trading Floor, and just, first and last name and a good email address for you, and we'll get you on the list. Good to go. And if you're looking on if you're looking on TikTok, it's very easy also. All you have to do is go to my profile and then hit the link there, and then there's a place where you can sign up for the action trade alerts. It's called Beacons, and that's sort of the link. They call it a link tree, and that's where you can sign up for the action trade alerts there. So that's another way that you can get that. I'm going to put the bull call spread out on that. Good question. Is it a bear trap today? Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think I think that we are in a confirmed uptrend. See, this is another thing. You don't want to short I did have a short on Lululemon, but it was only when we were in a confirmed downtrend. And that I closed that last week because we moved back to a confirmed uptrend. Currently, we're in a confirmed uptrend. And so that is a key thing. And the question is, where do I get this information? Well, it just so happens that Investor Business Daily publishes on its front page basically the direction of the market. I just want to show you that just super quickly here, kind of where to look for it. Now, I'm not recommending Investor Business Daily, but I've been a subscriber for years, and it's really helped me make a lot of money. I don't get a nickel. I don't get a nickel for talking about them, but I do think that it is a good service. So here's where I'm looking always for this. So every morning I get in there and I look and I say, well, goodness, where I am. Well, did I give you the wrong one? I sure did. Let's give you the right. Let's give you the right. The right. Yeah. Let's give you the right. The right one. I think that's there. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So basically, where I'm talking about for the direction, and I never short when this is red or yellow, but we're in a confirmed uptrend. So you're right. We may be in a bear trap where the Dow is leading us lower. The Nasdaq and S&P are pulling back on the gains, but we're still in a confirmed uptrend. So we want to be careful about shorting anything right now. So it is sort of a bear trap. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right on that. Alibaba. Here's the thing about Alibaba. I think that it would probably be a good time possibly for you to look to changing your maybe changing your portfolio configuration a little bit. I think it's a little bit out of favor, and you just don't want to necessarily be in it. Let's look at the Alibaba chart again. It's BABA, BABA, of course, is the symbol. Yeah, and as you can see, it's just been in a downtrend, and I think it's even more pronounced if you would go to the monthly chart. As you can see, with the monthly chart, we just basically have a downward trend on Alibaba. So here's what I would do if I were in Alibaba right now. I think I would be a seller. I just think I would be a seller. It doesn't look like, at least in the short term, it's going to be returning to its former glory. So that's something that you've got to take into consideration. Glad I already had absolutely. Wow. Yeah, Kate. Kate, thank you for that. Yeah, you made an excellent buy, by the way. I don't think RBLX is buyable right now, just because it's just too far extended. I think it's a great stock. It's just that it's kind of left the dock. So just keep holding it. Jim, when I asked you about when it opened up and you were unsure, I bought it. When it released, okay, excellent. Excellent. Technically the IPO is at 45, but it's listed at 64. Yeah, excellent. You did very well. Yeah, I was a little bit more cautious. I'll be honest with you, a little bit more cautious on that than you were, but that is great information. I do think it's a, I like the stock. It's just trying to, at least for me, it was trying to figure out on the charts like where to get in. But I think it's really strong. I think it's a little bit, let it settle down a little bit. Hopefully we'll get another chance on it. It's a good stock. So I think you're in for a good ride. I think you're going to make some good money on that. I'm kind of envious on that. All right. Well, let's look at this one. This is interesting. I've never heard of this one. It's Korean online. Interesting. I don't have a lot to go on these stocks. That's the problem. But boy, look at that. It has moved up very, very nicely. It just IPO'd 35 and it's up to 47. Yeah, I can't tell you what on this one, but this doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad. The IPOs are tough to play. I typically like to wait usually about usually about 3 months before I buy them. And sometimes you can't because they're going like that. Jim, what's happened with BA and airline stocks? Well, what goes up, what comes down. I've got BA, and I don't know if I'll be out. Let's take a look at Boeing. Yeah, it's right back. It just round tripped it right back to where I bought it at 255. So I gave up some gain there, but I didn't give up any gain because I bought it at 255. So we'll see. We'll see if it gets strength or it pulls lower than that. I'm gonna probably ratchet up my my stop loss to 244. I think I'm already at 244 on the stop loss. We'll see to see if it stays in the buy zone. Let's look at Mesa. Mesa actually is one of the best of the stocks technically, but it can't go up day after day. It just seems like, it pulled back to the 10-day line. It's still above the 10-day line. It's settled there, so it's still looking fairly decent. Let's look at Delta. DAL. Again, I have a position in Delta. It's not. It's above this. Yeah, and it's up a little. Yeah, just slightly. Not really anything. I don't know. I mean, I definitely, there was a lot of buying and then a lot of excitement and then not so much. So, not so much. Oh, okay. What do you say you wanted to show us? Thank you for bringing that up. What I did here today, and like everything else, you never know how it's going to turn out. But I did have I did do a bull call spread on Apple. Let's see if that's up. Let me see if that's up. I don't think did I close that or not? Let me see if I can pull that up. Yeah, there we go. All right. So, yeah, there we go. So basically, what this is this is Apple. Apple has made a movement above the 21-day exponential. So I do think there's a reversal on it. So my idea here is that Apple may be a potential for a bull call spread. So here's what I did this morning. Basically, this cost me $852, and so basically what I did is I went in and I bought 4 of the 125 May 21st calls, and the price I got was $7.58. So out of my pocket about $3,032, and then I sold simultaneously 4 of the 130s at $5.45, gaining $21.80 for a net of $852. So basically, this is the expected return on that. So if by the end of May here, about 21st, it closes above basically 127.50. Then I will be in the money. So this has the potential to make about 11.48, and the risk is about 8.42. Obviously, if it's going wrong, if it's going against me, I'll close the trade early. But that's really kind of thing. It's a bull call spread on Apple. So that's really what I wanted to show you, and I'll be putting that out and on the action trade alerts tonight. Okay, well, I think we have time for about one more question. And hey, what's happened to Airbnb? This is a good one too. I like Airbnb a lot. I just haven't been able to find the right entry, into Airbnb. That's been kind of one of my things. So let's kind of look to see. Let's look at Airbnb real quick. Yeah. Let me see if I can. I've got the wrong chart up here, but let me put up Airbnb. And let's take a second. Okay, Airbnb, ABNB. That's the correct way to do it. There we go, Airbnb. It's pulled back a little. I really like this stock. I have to admit, I really like this stock. It basically closed at 200. It closed really extended above the 21-day line. I do think that I want to see this come down and bounce. I don't like this relative strength right now. I would watch this one. It's just not time. The last real true buy point on this is basically at 175, and it's a little bit above that. So I want to see how far this thing pulls back. I think it may pull back as low as you know, it is as low as the 40-day line, which would be about 184, 185. So I do think the trend right now is downward, at least momentarily. Let's look at the weekly chart. So here's the thing. I think that if we get a reversal off the 40-day line, that's when we can buy it. But right now, I think with Airbnb, I think we just have to watch list this right now. It's just watch list this one, wait for the possible reversal. And I do think that possible reversal will be at about 185. But right now, I just don't think you can buy it. It's pulling back and it's basing. So right now, I just don't think there's a good opportunity really to buy it. That's the main thing. Well, I've been yammering at you for a whole hour. If you'd like to sign up for the action trailer, it's super duper easy to do. I have a new address, and this makes it a lot easier because you don't have to go through anything. You just go to this address, and and it just adds you right to automatically to the email address, and it's https://sendfox.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So until tomorrow at 2:30, thanks everybody. Thanks and happy trading. And I hope everyone's well. And I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.